So now, if you remember, we had a couple servers here. All right, we had 3 servers. Why do we keep at least 3 servers, Asaf? And here we have a cloud which has so many servers, and they don't care, because these guys, they have enough servers that you don't have to worry about they don't have to worry about the how many people can use it. But between them, maybe this one goes here. This is the internet, and this is, maybe let's call this a cloud. Maybe this is Microsoft. Maybe this is Amazon. Maybe this is Google, and all these, and there's so many other. There's a bunch of them, and between these guys, to come from one point, this for these ones, they are working together to provide services, and between these ones, there is a service that Asaf is going to configure. And I'll talk why those lines. This service is going to be called is VMM Manager. VMM Manager. This is a VMM Manager. And the same thing, if you don't want to use the VMM Manager, which one do you use? If you don't want a VMM Manager, is Microsoft. If you don't want to use Microsoft, use which one? vCenter. And the vCenter is for VMware. VMware is from, and this is Microsoft. So if you wanna, you can either use among the two. In this case, Asaf, you're gonna be using VMM Manager. This VMM Manager is gonna be connected to these physical servers. And as you remember, this is server 1. Maybe according to the naming convention of the company, maybe it's gonna be called host 1. Then you have host 2. And then you have host 3. Any of these servers, regardless, they can be big enough to carry on all these servers. And inside this, now after this server, and now on this, you have all the VMs. So many of them, they'll be here. And they'll be in different groups, and those groups are called what? As how do you arrange those servers in different groups? In different VLANs. All these servers are sitting in different VLANs. So in this case, you have like VLAN 1, and you have VLAN 2. And you have VLAN 3. This is, what's a VLAN? Asaf, what's a VLAN?
A virtual local area network. So like you're creating a virtual network within a physical one.
Exactly. So in this case, you are separating them. You are making sure that my servers maybe for this company, they're in this one, and my servers for other companies, they're in this one, or departments, or whatever. You can have so many departments of the VLAN. For instance, the reason why do you need different VLANs?
Yeah, it depends, because the resources on each VLAN can be consumed by a certain group of
exactly
people.
The reason why you need these VLANs, it's because now you can segregate users according to the VLANs. Which, give me an example of users you can segregate in this case.
Yeah, for example, if you can, maybe the marketing department can be in the
exactly.
Then they end up consuming the resources in that VLAN.
So let me ask somebody, anybody, Fiona, if this department, this VLAN presents finance department, And this department presents maybe marketing. And this department presents maybe consultants. Because the reason why is, and this department is called maybe something like directors, let's say, board of directors. Anything you can put anything as long as you want them to be different. Why do you need this department to be different? The same thing goes with IAM rights. Adia, do you remember the IAM users? Adia, do you remember IAM users? Who can tell me why these people, these servers, they need to be segregated according to the usage?
Because these departments have the different roles, like
exactly. Finance, you don't want the consultants having access to the files of the finance and seeing how much the stocks are selling today, how much the CEO is getting paid. Do you want that one? You don't want that one. That's why you segregate them. But at the end of the day, all these servers are still being managed into the same vCenter or VM manager, and they are all sitting on the physical servers. And should any of these physical servers go down, these two servers should take on the traffic. And to do so, you have to make sure you take this. If we say these servers, they need to use 70% of the storage of the servers, all these servers departments, they use 80% of my resources. How much resource how much you need to make sure the failover, Asaf, I need you to understand this one because it's really deep. If your entire resources for the entire organization use 80% of your full resources, that means you are prepared for 20% free space. And this free space is for the server to be able to move perfectly, because if my laptop, in this case, if let's say desk manager uses my CPU to 100%, what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Kiza.
When your laptop uses 80% or 20?
80%. If it uses 100%, now it's using 10% here.
Yeah.
What if it hits 100%? What do you think is going to happen?
Then to
crash off. To stop functioning.
To stop function.
You will freeze. So that's in this case, if you don't plan that so well, and these servers, this department, they get busy, and when they become so busy, they consume these servers to 100%, what's going to happen? Fiona, what's going to happen? Again, let me repeat. These three servers that are handling the volume of all the company organization data and services and the VMware, we've been testing them, and the capacity they use is 80%, which means we have 20% free at all time. If maybe our company is into maybe selling products online, maybe we sell services, maybe we deal with different services, and because now it's Christmas time, there's so many people coming to buy, there's so many things going on, the marketing team have been doing a great job, and now we have too much job, and as servers, all this, the consumption level hits 100%. What's going to happen?
It's going to freeze.
It will freeze.
Yeah.
The entire network. That's why you hear M10 has been offline, have been blacked out. That's what happens. So in implementation, as SAF, you should always make sure that the server are consumed up to 80% and 20% are saved. How do you know that? Asaf, how do you make sure these servers, they don't, if the consumption goes above 80%, you will know. How do you know?
Yeah, of course, you put on monitoring tools to check the consumption.
Exactly. So in this case, we are going, among the VMs that you have, one of them is going to be a VM for monitoring. And this VM for monitoring, we use like SCM. So we use like SCAM for Microsoft. We use Nagios. We use, do you know any Splunk? Splunk. We use Splunk. I don't know. Asaf, you need to know this because this is how you're going to know how your environment is running. SCAM is for Microsoft. That's why they use majority. There's Nagios, there's Splunk, there's even others, but these are the top ones people use. So which means every time this computer is you're going to say, you're going to create an alert on this server, or you're going to create in SCM or Nagios or Splunk, you're going to create an alert and say, please, alert is like, if the usage goes above 80%, send me an email or text or call me, and it will do it. You see the advantage of it? Because the reason why it does this, if it doesn't do this, that means what's going to happen? If
you
this
will only be alerted by services stopping.
It will be alerted by your manager firing you. Because it's your responsibility. So always make sure you have a monitoring service. This monitoring service is going to be pointed to these servers, and you tell them, please, if the usage goes above 80%, please send me an email, a text, or call me. And SSM is going to call you and say, beep, beep, warning. If you don't want, if it's just below 80%, then you can have warnings. And we're going to see like the warnings, how they look like. SCM monitoring warnings. Let's see how it looks like. So they are always ranked like this one. If it's a warning, if everything is fine, it will show you this one. If things are getting bad, you're getting a warning. And if it's getting good, it shows you this one. So let's say the actual servers. Do you see the screen?
Yes.
So you see, these are events. This is not SSM. This is your money. Oh, it is. This is the when you look at it, it looks like a monitoring on the actual server. You remember how we need to monitor the logs in the audit?
Yeah,
do you remember?
It looks
like if I say audit, maybe here I should see the same. I don't know. All right. So on a server, we used to see it. So now you can see it's telling you what's going on. It's warning you the volume. It's telling you what's going on. It's telling you the resources. There is something wrong with your resources. An hour, whatever. When did it start? Age. How long has it been going on? Created. It created a ticket. When was it created? Resolution state. What's a state? It's new. Nobody has touched it. If it's closed, it's going to say closed or resolved. Name. It tells you the problem. Volume, free space, what? Something. It's telling you what's going on. Some of the servers like these SQL clusters, they're always going to be complaining about something. You don't have to worry about them unless the server is going down. So you see, you have alerts and all those issues, events, you can see when the issue started and stuff like that. As the same way, this is how you do the overwriting for the SCAM. You see the applications, then you overwrite them. And this is how the SCAM will be configured. You remember when I told you high-level design and low-level design?
Yes.
What is this? Is this a low-level or high-level?
This looks it gives them more details. That's a low level.
Exactly, because it's going all the way to the controllers, disks, volumes, storage, operating system, and you can as well see the IP address. But if they didn't show you, they show you the diagram only to show you, like in this case, they will be like showing you, okay, we are going to configure SVMM. These are going to be 4 hosts, and on top of 4 hosts, we're going to create these VLANs, and on each VLAN, we're going to put these servers, something like that. This is the monitoring, how it looks like. What's a node?
A node can stand for like a server itself, or
Exactly. A physical server. And the reason why do they call it a node? Why is it not a server? Why don't you call it a server, but you call it a node? Because it's a part of the cluster. You understand?
Yeah.
Why is it a part of the cluster?
Because we've got so many nodes inside the cluster.
Exactly. There is more than one node in the cluster. Why is there more than one node in a cluster?
I think it's because they are somehow interconnected to perform some tasks.
To balance, to fail over, redundancy. You remember high availability, remember?
Yeah.
This is for high availability mode. High availability means there is more than one server in case one server goes down. How do we call it on AWS setup configuration to make sure you balance different nodes or servers?
That's load balancing.
Exactly, load balancers. And load balancers can be configured on 2 levels. Which 2 levels?
Yeah, you said levels of load balancer?
Yeah. On load balancer, if you are configuring a load balancer, and the load balancer should be configured on 2 different levels because it offers services on 2 levels. Which levels? Mainly on the AWS. Dig deeper. Application and server level.
Okay, yeah.
Which protocols do you configure the load balancer on the server level? So for such a question, ask yourself, how do you reach out to the server anyway? When you configure availability for the servers, those access on the servers, that means you're going to have to bring something, a protocol. Which protocol comes in the conversation?
Oh, maybe like it can be on a website level. If it's an application, maybe that will be an HTTP.
Asaf, you know your thing, but you are hesitant. Why? Come on, I know you know. I know you know. I know you know. That's why I'm pushing you. So now you just remembered how you configure the load balancer on high level, which is the load balancer on can be done on application level and the server level. If it's done on application level, which protocol it is?
Yeah, we say HTTP, TP.
So HTTP is for which? So Asaf, now you understand, because you need to go back from the foundation of engineering. And that's why the load balancer on a physical perspective comes in. And without a load balancer, you can create a data center. A data center is when you're having more than one server merged together to create a private cloud, which means on those physical servers, you can manage them with SVMM or vCenter and manage the VLANs. And under those VLANs, you can have different VMwares. And those VMwares, they can access storage network according to the right you provide to the VLANs, which is the same idea to the IAM users in AWS. Asaf, could you repeat that a little bit if you understand the logic? Because now you are building it from scratch. And once you understand that concept, you can design Microsoft Cloud. You can do your own cloud. I've done my cloud before. I bought my 3 servers, like I had like 4 servers so that I can have my own home labs. I could host the websites. I could do everything. It's easier than you think. The only concept, you need to go from the bottom. If you understand from the start, you must have at least 3 physical servers. Why do we have 3 physical servers, Asaf?
For high availability. For high availability. One goes
high availability.
the tool can take off.
Which is also, you can call it a load balancing, a load balancer, to balance the load. But the high availability in technology, they normally refer it as HA. So when you join the meeting, you could ask her, may I know how many physical servers we have on SVMM? May I have the access to high level design? You can say, may I have our high level design to our private cloud? Do you see why you're asking? Do you know where the question is taking you?
Yes, yes.
What are you trying to see? Why are you asking such a question?
So for high level design, I want to look at the existing infrastructure in terms of the servers and how they are configured or connected.
But what do you want to know mainly? You want to know physical servers that are in the background of the data center, which is the private cloud, right?
Yeah.
Why do you need to know the physical servers?
Yeah, of course, I want to know the number of them, and I want to know the services they are running and things
exactly.
like that.
And another thing, the reason why you need, or give me a good reason, why do you need to know the physical servers? You need the IP address. Why do you need the IP address? You want to RDP into those physical servers. Why do you want to RDP in those physical servers? You want to see which operating systems are. Are they 2008? Are they 15? But also, you can run a PowerShell command. Why do you need to log into that server? I need to know if it's patched. How do you patch a physical server? Asaf, how do you patch a physical server?
Yeah, there are different ways, but maybe it's for the Microsoft server, I can as well use this Microsoft catalog to know the latest patches. Then I deploy them.
How?
Yeah, I can run a script to do that.
Good. What's another way?
I can also maybe deploy an automatic, like on one server.
How are you managing those physical servers?
I can just manage them via okay, I can manage them through the same like through SVMM.
Exactly. Which means if you can manage them from there, there should also be an option where you can patch them. And by patching them, you are not patching the operating system. What are you patching? When you're patching the operating system, you installed system updates from Microsoft. When you're patching the hardware, what do you install?
Yeah. Actually, it's because when you are patching a hardware, that means it also goes back to even to its BIOS. Then that means you need
a keyword. Which word? I'm looking for one word starting with F.
Yeah. Well, that's what this. I'm going to remember that. I know the word.
Firmware.
Yeah, firmware. Yeah, it's a BIOS firmware. Yeah, that's what you are patching.
Exactly. Asaf, I know you know these things. I'm not teaching you magics. I know you know them. I saw you. I've talked to you. I've seen your resume, and your resume was so real. And I'm sure 100% you've patched hardware servers before, haven't you?
So many times.
Thank you. And you've patched also the operating systems, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely.
How do you patch the operating systems? Which system do you use?
Yeah, actually, we later we had a centralized one, but initially, as I said, we were like doing consultations to the Microsoft catalogs. You know how they define.
But how would you push them? If you go in catalogs, you have to push one by one, but you have 1,000 servers. How do you push the same patches to 1,000 servers in 10 minutes to all be patched at the same time? Which system do you use? I know you know it. SaaS. Do you know SaaS SSM? Do you know SSM or SaaS? Window Update Manager?
Yeah. It's the patches, the update patches are toward centrally, then they're deployed.
And we use, in this case, we use SCM patching. If you go here on a patching, you will see how they do it. We take the laptops in one chunk. You see this one, exactly. This, I'm looking for this one. This is how you used to do it. Tell me, this is SCM. This is a software library, the one you are talking about. Remember, this is the catalog you are talking about. So this is which one are you using right now? This is a SaaS, and in this is a software update. You are synchronizing and you are selecting which Windows. This guy selected Windows 7, Office 2013, Office 2010. He collected all the patches. You see, security updates. He made them together and he edited the membership. After editing the membership, he's gonna be download, and after downloading, he will deploy. And by deploying, all these patches will be distributed to 1,000 computers all around the world within just a few minutes. And I used to design this. I designed this system so many times. We call the system where we have services in Ottawa, in USA, in Florida. I used to fly to go to Germany. I'll go all those data centers to design this. So you're going to be doing this. And it's so easy, but very few people can do it. This is the reason actually why they put me among the 100 engineers. Because designing this from scratch, it takes a process, but it's not magical. It's easy. So you see, now they selected all the app patches. You see, there's Windows 8, whatever this window, whatever these patches. Then afterward, they're gonna push them to one server, to management server. And management server, you see now, is creating that. He's excluding the patches, including the patches he wants. You see, now he's on a point where he's creating this PM. This PM is what is PM? It's a manager which is for deployment. I don't remember. It's something. What? How do you call this? I don't know. I don't remember. So here he's scheduling. He's saying it's gonna push effective on this date, start on this time to this time, and it's gonna be weekly, and it's gonna be every Tuesday, and it's gonna be once in a week, and all deployments. And he clicks OK. After clicking OK, tomorrow he goes on his calendar and he sees which one was patched. And we always have 3 environments when you are doing the patching. Which environment, Asaf? Give me the 3 environments in every organization. Every standard organization should have at least 3 environments. Which environments am I talking about?
Environments for patching?
Yeah, it could be patching, it could be anything. You need to do everything in 3 layers. You try
Yeah,
here, you bring it.
Oh, you mean this testing for
exactly. So you have testing, what else?
Oh, the in between testing and production, there is another one.
Exactly. I know you know it. Which one is that? You have like UAT.
UAT, yeah. Testing, exactly. UAT, then production, yeah.
Exactly. So the moment you step in a company, you should ask high-level design for the SVM, maybe the entire environment. You need to know the domain controllers, and after knowing the domain controllers, now you need to know the environments. Do you have test environment? Do you have UAT environments? Do you have production environments? And then after there, then you'll be just good to go. And this document, I'm going to give it to you. The operating system may change, but the system is the same. So this could be the steps. You see how many steps you have to take? That's why when you're deploying this, you tell them it's going to take me, you break it down, you say this is going to take me 1 week. The installation only could take you 1 week. You see WSaaS, you remember the WSaaS I was telling you about? It's adding SAP, this software update patching, product, something, and through manager. So all this you build it up, and then you come up, and it's in CAS. This is the old technology, but now it's changed. So if you click on here, now you're going to start seeing step by step, hopefully. So now the first question is telling you are now in SCCM, roles, configuration, groups, whatever. This is services. I think it's trying to give the accounts that's going to do the setup. Do you know why is he trying to do stuff here? What is this guy trying to do?
Groups, yeah, he's working on the groups.
Why is he working on the groups?
He was checking, I think
he's trying to install this, but for this to install, he needs local admin rights.
Yeah, he wants to know.
So how does he get local admin rights? He goes in a server, a physical server. He goes in the groups, which is in local user groups, and he adds this one. Why is he adding the user in the group, not the user here? He could just created a user here. Why did he add the group?
Maybe that's where they also have other users or other...
Exactly, because he's creating the user account to use for installation of this SSM. So if the account this account needs a local administrator rights. So instead of creating a user and add the user to give the user administrator rights, you rather create a group so that everybody you put in a group, which is client install, admins, SSM, and SDM, all they have the same rights. So you put them in this group, then you add them in a local admin group, and they all have the access. You get the point? Guys, this is the knowledge you need to get paid $10,000 every month. The knowledge I'm sharing here is the reason why they would pay me $10,000, the minimum every month. If it's less than $10,000 a month, I can't touch it. Why? Because very few people can do it. So I know my competition. That's why you hear them calling me, and when they are giving me job, they call me sir, because it's not easy to find the engineer who's gonna do this. And every time they find an engineer who can do this, it's so good for them because they're gonna make a lot of money as well. So this was for SCCM actually. This is not for SVMM. This is for SCCM. SCCM is for Aria. What does SCCM do?
Software deployment and update patches.
So there are 4 things. Tell me all the 4 things.
That's what I remember so far.
Tell me, which one did you say?
I said software deployment and
okay. So it's only software and application. We don't use software so much. We say applications because software and application, they are the same but different. So software application, say application deployment. What else?
Patches, update.
Patches, very good. Deploying the patches. What else? There's a big one, the most important one. OSD. What's OSD?
OSD, the operating system.
Operating system. What's another name for operating system? What's another name for operating system? How do you call it in companies? Image. Image. Okay. It's OS or image. How do you call it in AWS? What do you deploy on after what do you deploy? What's the difference OS and a VMware, a VM server? An instance. What's the difference between operating system and an instance? Who can tell us what's the difference between operating system and an instance?
Instance, it's where we create the computer in.
What's the name of the computer? If we say computer, we are sounding like. If we say computer, we are sounding like the local guys who don't know technology. How do you call computer in the cloud?
Virtual
computer or virtual server. How do you call it in AWS?
EC2.
EC2, very good. It's called EC2. And EC2 is a part of the instance.
Yeah.
Very, very good. That was at least that was good. Asaf, are you still there? Let me somebody else to trigger here. Let me push somebody. Zara, give me two different types of OSD. Sorry, give me two different operating. Give me two types of operating system of OS. OS. Give me two types of OS. Who can give me two types of OS? Aria.
That's Ubuntu and Windows.
Very good. Ubuntu and Windows, those are the common operating systems we use. Give me two versions of Windows. Zara, two types of Windows.
Windows 11, Windows 10.
Very good. So make it clear to me to understand. If I say this operating system is for the client workstation, and this operating system is for the server, what are the two different?
One, it provides the services to many users, and another one is for personal users.
Yes. That's very good. That's very good. But is this ChatGPT? Aria.
Like for me, the client, I think it would be like a laptop or
very
phone.
Good. Exactly.
And the server would be like a software.
No, they are the same thing, but one is for the servers and another one is for the laptops, desktops, for people. A client is a person like me.
Yeah.
For anything like me and you to use, it's a client operating system. It's a OSD for the laptops and stuff, but the server, and that's why we're talking about this operating system. There's operating systems like we talked about, some like this one. No. We have a lot of operating system. You don't have to go there. You only have to remember two. For the client, give me two. We already said it, 10 and 11. You don't need to go back. We don't go back in technology. We just go with the new one and the previous one. So that was good. And unfortunately, our board didn't open. Asaf, I was trying to ask you questions to finish up this. So you understand, why do we need more than two? Why do we need more than 3 physical servers of the same capacity? And the 3 physical servers of the same capacity should be able to support at least the capacity of the the capacity. Okay. If you have 10 servers, 10 virtual servers running on 3 physical servers, 2 servers are supposed to be able to handle 10 servers, which means in case the third physical server dies, you're still going to have the servers running. Asaf, do you understand that part?
Yeah, I do. But another maybe a question I want to know here. That means you always have a replication of all servers on the same physical servers. Like if I have my 10 VMs and running on, so they should all run on those 3 physical servers. Or maybe exactly. I have 3 VMs running in one physical server, other 3 in another one. So that's want to work for high availability. Yeah,
good. That's a very good question. Actually, it's what most Africans do, and I'll show you how. Unfortunately, our document could this is what you used to do in your office. I know that's what you're asking.
The service goes down, then you have a day to put it back on.
Exactly. The reason you're asking the question, because I can see it's exactly what everybody in Africa do. And they do this just because they don't know. They don't know.
And another thing maybe I see that we were misusing. It's like we never put the VM machines to the best use for sure.
Because when you don't know, then you don't know what to do. You just do, as long as it works, you move forward. You don't want to stay in Africa. They say if it's running, don't touch it.
Yes.
So in this case, you understand the reason why we connected these 3 servers together on both ends. These 3 servers, they are different servers. There's 1, 2, and 3. Okay? if this server goes down, this and this should take on the pressure. If this one goes down, this is going to fail because the volume here is already too much. So think of it, we have like this, and here we have a vCenter, or we have SVMM, all right? And here it connects you. We normally have 3 networks. No, from here. So you have here, I want to make sure you understand this part so well. So the whole idea, you have 3 physical servers, and these 3 physical servers, you connect them together. But to connect them together, you're going to create a couple networks, lines coming in these 3 servers. These could be cables. Think of the networks. And this network, one is management, okay? Another one is storage. And another one is what? I forgot. Storage, management. What is storage, management, and storage management? So basically, you're trying, because these physical servers, the reason why you segregate them like this, don't worry about this one. This is another level of managing the physical servers and also coming to them. Then on this level, they come together, they create what we call a cluster. They connect together, all of them. Then on this one, you can put VMs. But before you put the VMs, you create VLANs. Then you could put the VMs inside VLANs. So which means this management line is going to help you to go manage this server physical, in case it's off network. This is how you log into these physical servers and configure the IP address on this server. Asaf, you understand?
Yeah. So now in this case, that management is a VLAN on its own.
Management is physical. Because
okay.
you need, it's physical because you have a cable going all the way to the internet point, the RJ45 or the fiber line.
So in this case, we assume that's a cable from that server to either a switch or, okay.
Because there is no way, remember this is a physical server. Without this cable, there's no way this server is going to be able to do this.
And it should also communicate to the other servers.
And so it should communicate to other servers at the same time. And so it should have the storage. In this case, you could have another big storage. Give me an example of a storage. You know, an example of iSCSI, fiber channel. What did you use? SAN. I'm sure you used SAN. What did you use there in your company? You used something. I know you used a storage.
Yeah, there were other devices we're adding the network for the storage.
Exactly. So you have a storage here. If you have a storage here, this storage definitely going to have to come on a network. And how does it come on a network? It's going to come like this. Because you need this storage to have a network so that when you're giving the volume to these VMs, you're going to go through this line, come through this line and go to the storage. So which means this server, they already have the storage, they have their physical storage, but they also have access to the storage, which you need for these VMs. So by creating these VMs here, now these VMs here, they have specific, you can allocate a specific logical storage to them. Do you understand what I mean by logical storage? There's illogical and logical storage. Okay, let's go back to virtualization. Now we're mixing the technology because I'm now designing a data center private cloud. And now we were bringing in storage. Storage is complete another part, but you always have access to the storage because you need a file server. These guys, these VMs, they need to have access to file server. They need to have access to the SSDs, Why do they need those ones? Because only those ones can be used to install the operating system on these virtual servers. How do you call those ones in the cloud in the AWS? We have a cloud here, and we have AWS here, and we have Microsoft, Google, and so many. And all they are doing, they are just doing the same thing. They are designing this, they are doing the same thing, but in this case for them, they are doing it on a global scale. So they connect to the internet, and behind they have a lot of servers in the geographic location. They have their servers, physical servers somewhere, and these physical servers, they configure them and they present them to the internet. And this is the internet. And in the internet, and all you need is just your laptop here to be able to deploy EC2s and instances on AWS. So they make it easy for you. They design the same thing here, and now they put on the internet, and you can come and use it the way you want it. And with just your laptop here or your desktop, you can manage this environment, and you can build the same environment like this one, but without physical servers. So now these guys are in cloud. This is a cloud, a public cloud. And this is a private cloud. And this is a hybrid when you connect them to. So by connecting these two, you are getting a hybrid. But before you connect these guys to become a part of the cloud so that you can go through this internet and go to AWS here, there's a couple networks you have to configure, which goes through the internet. That's the one we talked about, direct connect and all the VPNs. And once they come here, now they can connect you. These computers can connect, maybe here you have a network portion as well, connecting on your network, and now you can bring all this network here, and everybody here can have the internet now. So you have at least more than 3 physical servers. If you have maybe 100 servers here and one VLAN, 100 servers in a VLAN here, 100 in VLAN here, 100 in VLAN here, every computer in this VLAN would have a specific storage you want them to have, which you take a portion on this storage and you say, only this portion is going to be for VLAN 10. Only this portion is going to be for VLAN this. Only this portion is going to be for VLAN this. So you now segregate them, which means the finance department, the sales department, the consultant department, the HR department, they are all completely different. They can't read other people's files. So if the servers, they are performing on a 100% capacity, you have to make sure the physical servers, they don't go above 80%. If they go above 80% or 90%, you should know. And the only way to know is by using SCAM, Nagios, and Splunk. And to manage these physical servers together, which becomes the nodes you need, VMM or vCenter, which is for VMware. And once you have this one, now you can create the data center on top. You can create, say, a data center, and this data center will have more than 10 VLANs, whatever you want. And you can create another data center here and give it other VLANs as well. So you can imagine you can have so many data centers in this VMM having different tenants. And those tenants are the reason why we call tenants, because those people, they have different access rights. They access internet differently. They have different storage capacity. They have different DHCP for the IP addresses. They use different DNS. They use different IP addresses according to how you are. And that you've just created a cloud. But in this case, it's connected to another cloud. It's a private cloud connected to public cloud, and you've created a hybrid. And most companies,
excuse me, yeah, for this virtual machine manager, is it there that you are going to create the VLANs, or it uses the existing ones?
You have to create a VLAN. If it's existing already, in your case, we don't know if they have it already. If they don't have it, they're going to tell you, they're going to give you a high-level design documentation, which is going to tell you which VLANs are there. And if there's no VLANs or there's no SVM configured, then you're going to configure it and you're going to give it the VLANs they give you. How do you get the VLANs? Because those VLANs have to come from assigned by the network team because they segregate the network.
Yeah, actually, that's what I was saying. Maybe, for example, you find this company has got like already the different VLANs depending on their design. So if you proceed with those ones, so you recommend otherwise. I don't know.
Exactly. So which environment would you prefer? The already designed one or a new one?
Okay, you're going with a new one, you get familiar with the entire network, and it's like you are managing it from the beginning. But again, if it's already designed and they have like VLANs configured, maybe from the network perspective, like from their switches, then again, like maybe redesigning the VLANs may be another task that isn't.
But there's no task. There's no. It's so easy. Let me show you.
Like they already have the VLANs, maybe in
VLAN in me is VMM. It's 5 steps. You're done. You see, it doesn't take more than 5 steps, and you're done. VLAN turn easy. VLAN made easy.
Yeah, creating VLANs isn't that hard, but I mean, like if they have them already configured in their switches, for example.
And the point is, if it's already configured, why do you care? The only thing you have to care is, in your case, in your job, they're going to say, oh, Asaf, could you create one VM and put it in a VLAN 101? What do you do? You come in a vCenter or VMM manager, you create a VLAN, boom, right click, and say next. They ask you, do you want to use existing customized template or you are deploying a new one? The same way you do in AWS when you're deploying the instance. You just go next. They ask you, do you need Ubuntu or Windows? I need Windows. Which Windows do you want? I need this one. You move next. They ask you, do you want to add it in a VCP or... That's the same question. The same here. In this case, think of the VLAN as a VCP somehow. Don't call it a VCP, but it's like a VCP. So which means if I come here in a vCenter VM manager, I do right click to deploy a VM, next. If they say the VLAN is for the marketing guys, where are you going to put the VM? Asaf, if you say the ticket says deploy one VLAN, and this VLAN is for the marketing, is for the finance team, where are you going to put the VLAN?
On the virtual machine for the marketing.
Exactly. No, whatever the department, the VLAN, because what happens if you put it in a different VLAN? Asaf, you know that. I know you know that.
Yeah. You mean putting the different VLAN? Then that means if it's already deployed, then they're not going to access the resources if they are not in the same VLAN.
How would you troubleshoot the issue?
Because of course you have to know the current VLAN, those who are accessing
and
the
do
VLAN.
What? And then do what? And move the virtual server.
Yeah,
let's say
VLAN, yeah.
Yeah, it's easy, it's straightforward. They say, oh, you brought a laptop and you put it in a guest room, and because you put it in a guest room, there is no TV. This person is supposed to sleep in room 5 because there's a TV and internet. If you put them in a guest room, they're not going to get the TV and internet. So you're going to move them to the room that has where they're supposed to be. And that's as easy as it sounds. If the computer is supposed to be, if this is a VLAN setup for you. And I hope it's the documentation. This is the documentation you're gonna go. You see, it tells you step by step. It's easy. So next. Of course, you're gonna need a SQL cluster. Now here you see, action new virtual machine. You see, you're creating a new virtual machine. You go next. Next, they're asking you maybe next. At some point, they are going to ask you how much. The same way you do it in AWS.
The physical server, it's like if they already have their VLANs, then each VLAN has its own range of IPs. So like in our traditional way, if I get that virtual machine, then I assign it the IPs that belong to that very VLAN. Then I think automatically that virtual machine is in that VLAN.
Exactly. That's as easy as that. This is Hyper-V. Hyper-V Manager is the same as the vClient. This is Hyper-V only can manage one physical server, which means on this physical server, there's 3 servers, remote, SCM, and SVMM. If you want to manage more than one physical server in Microsoft, you're going to need a VVM manager. But virtual manager, Hyper-V Manager, it manages one host, and it will show you which VMs are sitting on one host. But if you have more than one host, then you have virtual manager, VMM manager. And in this case, it will show you more than one physical servers. And here you will see virtual servers sitting on those ones. And then after, you will see the server starting. And before you see configured next, now the server is ready. Now this server is in the cloud, in your virtual cloud. And this is server 2019. So this will give you the exact. Now, earlier, how does the computer become part of the organization? When you buy a computer and you bring it in organization, does it already become, it can be patched and everything? Asaf, I'm going to put this there on a chat group for you. Please do me a favor and go through this one. Because if you go through this, this is the completion level. At this level, you would have configured the SVMM and it's ready. Then once you are here, you just need to start bringing in, adding. In this case, if you finish installing the SVMM manager here, what would be the next step?
Will we just add there the roles now, like the whole is going to be doing?
You're gonna first add the SVM hosts, adding host to SVMM server. Because remember, after you install SVMM, it's gonna be a virtual server, which means there's nothing on it. In this case, you're gonna have to make sure you go on a virtual server and you add other nodes so that you can create a cluster, which is a data center. Make sense?
Yeah, but okay. When you create them, then at the beginning they are yet to play any role until you assign them something.
Because after you deploy it, it's useless. It's sitting there now because it's supposed to manage the physical servers. So if you install it and you don't add the physical servers, it's not going to do anything. It's going to be useless. So you see, actually, this is better maybe. So you see a server, this server, and somewhere like here, you're going to see physical servers and resources. There's enough information out there, and that's what we do. So the first questions you have to ask in a meeting, do we have high-level design documentation? May I have access to the documentation? I need to see our environment. Do you know how many domain controllers we have? Do we have domain controllers in different geographic locations? And secondly, another question is this virtual cloud, our private cloud, is it configured already? We're gonna do it from scratch. How many physical servers are we planning to use? Do we have high-level design? So I know the structure, the planning. Oh, you don't have it. If you don't have it, can we design it? If you design it, now you can go step by step. Any questions for me? And again, I'm just a call away. If you are lost, if you need me, just call me. The good news, as long as you sound good in a meeting, the rest is easy because we just show up in the meetings. These good jobs, they don't stress you. You can go in Africa and at the airport, you can be driving your Uber as you're waiting for somebody and you're configuring your laptop. As long as when the manager calls you, you're in a quiet, decent place. If there's a call expected, if there's a meeting expected, you should be in a quiet, decent place. But if it's troubleshooting and monitoring, You are in Canada, take your laptop with you in the car, drive around. You don't need VPN, log in anytime, do whatever you have to do according to your task. So now you're killing two birds at the same time. You are working in your car, making a lot of money, but also driving Uber. If the client comes in Uber, just put the laptop aside, drive the man, park somewhere, do your job. Can it be better than that?
Sorry. Did I hear you well? Like you said, you don't need a VPN, like to connect to the company's resources.
No, of course. I mean, if you are working from Africa, you're gonna need another level of VPN to show that you are in Canada.
Okay. I mean, like when you are in like here, North America.
Of course, you're gonna need a VPN to be able to access their resources.
Okay, I thought by public internet was enough. That I could get confused.
But you can do that as well. Do you know how you can do that?
But there's some also through public.
When can you be in a position not to need a VPN doing the same thing?
Sometimes they even there are some companies, if I'm not wrong, that they provide maybe like the application, like
the answer is if you are still dealing with on-prem products, you're always gonna use a VPN. But if you are in the cloud 100%, when do you use a VPN? Do you use a VPN to access your AWS environment?
You only need account.
You just need account and the internet. That's it.
Yes.
The only time you need a VPN, it's only when you're trying to access local resources on your network.
Yeah. And that, of course, it will be needed for both hybrid and on-premises.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you can merge the two. So it's going to be easy, it's going to be smooth, but more importantly, it's going to be a learning curve and a very interesting. And after this contract, trust me, the next contract is going to be water. You're going to feel like now I'm going to sit home, do 3 contracts one time.
Yep.
And I had an interview. I'm going to connect you with one of the guys I trained who was in my boot camp. The previous one, he had 3 contracts. I did the interview. I'll post it. You watch it. The guy, he sounds big and he's big. Trust me. He makes some good money. He's doing pretty good and he works from home. He has his desk. So this is an easy way to go. And even if you don't work for these North American companies, if you go back home, you're still going to make a lot of money because they don't have this thing. This technology has been there, but it's too fast for Africans to catch up with it. The reason being, there's a budget. Secondary, engineers who advise technologies to use. Most of the African engineers, they are stuck with old technology. That's why you use that technology. The technology you used at your work, like they're using in Rwanda, this is the same technology environment I was designing 10, 15 years ago. Can you imagine?
I already see that.
So me moving from on-prem to cloud, it's so smooth because I'm going from the hard way to the easy way. Like in the cloud.
Now I'm starting to wonder, why was it because we are not informed or we didn't want to do it?
It's the same thing with leadership and everything. If you're not aware of what's the best solution out there, you're going to end up designing your own solutions, which we call reinventing the wheel. You keep reinventing the wheel instead of tuning the wheel. Yeah. So in North America, they tune the wheel, they clean it up. In Africa, they take the messy one, they maintain it, they make sure they don't touch it. Yeah, and those are the ASAF in Africa.
Because even now, going back to my previous employer, I could have so many questions for them because I see we're just lagging behind in everything. Almost everything.
And guess how much money they are losing every month?
No, it was so costly because now I see how we were focusing always on physical machines.
And they're so expensive to maintain. There's a life cycle, there's warrant, there's failing, the hard drives always fail.
Servers were expensive. And
they are very expensive. And then, to make it so sad, they pay like $10,000 for that server to run just a service that the service is only needed 3 hours a day, which they are paying 10,000 for the same service. They can pay for maybe 50,000 in the cloud. I'll give you an example. If you run a domain controller in the cloud, how much is going to be an instance every month on demand? Aria, how much have you paid for the cloud so far for the instances you didn't delete?
It's less than 100.
You paid $100?
For
No,
my, I've
it's
paid
less.
29 so far.
But even
29.
if you're managing the cloud so well, you can pay even so little. For the same service in Africa, they are paying like maybe $20,000. I can give them the same service for $100. Do you know how? Because I can make those services in demand, which means if you use the services in AWS, they're going to charge me. If I don't use them, when people in Africa, even when they are sleeping, nobody using their services, even when the offices are closed, they're still paying for the power, they're still paying for the application, they're still paying everything. They don't know when to shut it down, and they can't shut down because if they shut down, it will never come up again. So Asaf, how can we help Africa in business to change from the old school of doing things, which is so expensive?
Sorry, I was muted. I think it has to bring in so many stakeholders, because when you look at this, as you said, there is management itself, there are ITs who just don't need to advance. And also there are so many things to do. For example, now I'm thinking of the big problem almost all companies in Rwanda, private and public, that they have with archiving. So I don't know why they still have that headache.
So the
but
good
no
news,
one is even taking a step to work on that.
The good news, Saftech Canada College is gonna be taking on Yago TV show and some other TV shows which has a big viewing in diaspora and in Africa. So maybe that would be a good start. I'm sure people will pick the interest. People don't know. And because they don't know, you think they're not interested. People are interested, they want it, but they don't know where to start because this is high end. That's why in Canada, first of all, in Africa, they will never pay me 10,000 a month. That's like 10 million every month. Can they pay me the amount? It's like 12 million, actually.
I don't think so.
So another issue is, remember, all this I'm doing, I'm not investing any penny in this one. It's just the knowledge that I'm selling, which means I can never lose. I will charge you 10,000, even if I charge you $3,000 and I'll give it to Sadat and somebody to do it, I will still make money and I'll just do the overseeing. And because this is skilled based, it's soft skills. I don't buy anything. I don't buy IP. If they have to buy the account, I tell them pay for this, and my just work is engineering. And I can do this cloud migration within 3 days. But do you think I'm gonna, maybe let's say for the big crowds I can do, it can take me 1 month. But if I'm doing this for the company, I'll tell them the contract is gonna take 1 year. Why? Because I wanna be paid for 1 year, but I could do it for 1 month. So when you don't know, it becomes very expensive. And when you know, it becomes cheaper. But because so many people don't know, those who know, they get overpaid. And they don't care.
And when it becomes worse, you start wondering why so many people are backing you on an idea that was completely wrong.
You know?
You are backed from the top to bottom, and you go on with the idea, which is really costly and which is not going to solve even a portion of the problem.
So, and we can, like in Africa, we can do it. We can create a data center that will support all the private and public sectors. So all those sectors, the government will shrink the expenses from like 90% to 10%, and will still serve all organizations in Rwanda. Can you imagine? And guess what?
Yeah.
The funny thing, I can use existing servers. If they can give me the existing servers in M10, Guakof, and all those places, I can put them in one room and I'll create, in this case, I'll add so many hosts, which gonna give me big capacity for so many VMwares, which means, and because there's internet in Rwanda everywhere, and this data center can serve everybody so perfect and so easy and so cheap. And if for the redundancy, maybe we can have another data center sitting somewhere out of Rwanda, like in Kenya, so that in case they bomb this one backs up. And this is a failover, high availability. That's why Amazon, Microsoft, Google, they have data centers in different companies. So in case you bomb it, in case there's no power, in case there's a problem, at least another one will take place. So if you have one data center in Rwanda, you can have another one in Kenya and maybe another one in South Africa, because those countries tend to be more reliable and the connection of the internet is much better. That way you can create a topology like this. And if this one fails, this one is up, this one is up. You create a cloud for them.
Yeah, but it's all about changing the mindset from even the top, because if the policymakers are still hesitant
they don't
on
know
how to use
you can't
the
blame
cloud,
them.
then
You can't blame them. The person to blame is you, because the engineers are not updating themselves to the best level. And secondly, even when they are so, that's the reason why most people in Africa, when they are working in offices, they don't become so good. They become comfortable. But here, there's a competition. I told you the first key point is when you jump into the company, know the best guy in the company, compete with him psychologically and technically. Make sure you can do anything he can do. If you can do anything he can do, then you are safe, the contract is safe. And that would put you in a position of power for money and also on the money market. So you are not, nobody's poor, only their heads are poor.
So this brings in a question. You know, we always ask ourselves that why is it that everything comes to Africa when it's already has been in existence in Europe and North America for like a decade? So this is the reason.
A century, actually. Because so many companies.
The reason is in Africa, many of our people who are head of the companies, they have a little knowledge on such things, and they believe in the engineer they hire. So if they hire you as an engineer and they have you for more than 5 years, they believe in you. So they cannot even hear what you bring on the table as the junior engineer or someone from school.
Yeah, it's sometimes because who you know. So I just remembered another network here, another line. Line. You have management, you have storage, and you have network. So, any question for today, class? If you don't, tomorrow I'll be in. Call me anytime. Please arrange with Angel to get the laptop as soon as possible. I don't know how you're gonna get the laptop to Ottawa. There's ride shares in Toronto. But we can also put on DHL or FedEx or something. And it's good. It's Friday, and starting is Monday. We have 3 days, so you have 3 days to prepare yourself. And I will try on the first day. I'll be online with you, but on Monday I'll be somewhere so far. I'll be in Hungary, but I don't know what the time zone. But if I'm online, I'll be available. But the first day is always the easy day. Just so ask those
Monday morning. So that means Monday morning will be a meeting.
I don't know. They will tell you. Monday morning will be the day to log in. Normally, they send you the laptop. You log in. They give you the admin account. You log in, and you always have somebody who's gonna be sharing the screen, taking you around. Oh, this is our domain controllers. This is our network. This is our SVMM. This is this. This is this. Ask questions. If you can't, record the screen. They have teams. Make sure every time they are giving you a training, ask them, do you mind if we record the screen? You can log in with Saftech Canada account if you want, but they wouldn't allow you. So use Teams. They have Teams, I'm sure he records. So record so you can always go back, because the guy is going to be like, they always so fast. They say, oh, VLAN 101 is for we designed this for the consultants, but the consultants are now not there. So we decided to merge VLAN 101 with 2. We are using a peering. You know the peering?
Mm-hmm.
What's a peering in AWS? When do you do the pairing? I know you know. Yeah.
AWS?
Yeah. If you're doing in AWS and you're doing the pairing of 2 networks, which network would be this one and which network would be this one? So if you want to connect 2 VCPs, you do the VCP pairing. So because these guys, they want this VLAN stuck with this VLAN, so they pair these ones, so they create a network between them to communicate. In the cloud, you do the VCP pairing, remember?
Yeah.
Any questions? Again, on Yago TV show, once I get this deal done, I'll be teaching most of the time there. I feel like I want to give back to Africa and help those companies to grow. Otherwise, they will stay back forever. And this includes all technology, cloud computing, AI. So, guys, join me. We're going to be taking it to another level, but also we need the capacity, because so many companies will be like, could you do this for us? So I need you guys.
Yeah, definitely through those programs, there will be consultants jobs, I know.
A lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if no more questions for today, I'll leave you guys in the class. You continue doing whatever you're doing. And if you need me, I'm always available. Today, the class was strictly for Asaf, since it relates to the job. And I think, Asaf, you got it all. Anything you need, you feel like you need, anything that you feel like I should talk more about, anything you're worried about?
No, not for now. Yeah, maybe something private, I'll contact you. No problem.
Yeah, anytime. And let me send you the link. That link is just for you, just to have, just in case, but it is a possibility that you may not even need it. But it's always good to know how the system starts from scratch.
Yeah.
And I think we covered pretty much everything. You know the cloud, you know hybrid, you know, I think you're good. Trust me. If I believe in you, it's because I know you're good.
Yeah.
So guys, enjoy. I will step out.
Thank you. Good day.